What's up, everybody? It's your boy CS Motivated Minds. So I'm just sitting out in the back, soaking up some of this sun. I was just sitting out here thinking about when I used to be in the jungle. And, every day I would go in, I got to the point that I would start reading quotes. And a lot of it was just, to get those guys to thinking, and to use their minds, to use their brains and think. So I remember one day I read a quote that said, "Don't mix bad words with your bad mood. You may have the opportunity to change your mood, but you never get the opportunity to replace the words you spoke." And what that really is about is thinking before you speak. My brother used to always talk about don't get caught up in emotion, because a lot of times when we get caught up in emotion, we say things that we really don't mean. But when I was talking to those guys, I used to say it like this: regardless of what the situation is, never let your emotions override your intelligence. They used to come back and tell them that, you have people doing 25 years to life because they let their emotions override their intelligence. They got caught up in their emotions. Sometimes you have to take 2, maybe 3 seconds to pause and think. And then there were days I would come in and, I would always talk about reason and logic. And I would always say, okay, let's reason together. We're men, so we should be able to talk like men. And if I can't reason with you, and I'm trying to use logic to you, and you ain't understanding, then we're gonna have to go and find some alternative means and measures. But y'all ever run across people that no matter what you say to them, no matter how much sense it make, they just don't want to hear it. They're not getting it. I heard something a long time ago that says you can't speak logic with illogical people. And I just sometimes just try to keep that in mind, and I'm just kind of smiling because I think about Uncle Bill. And Uncle Bill used to say, you never argue with a fool because people might not know the difference. Or the old folks would say, never argue with a fool because that only makes 2. And then I heard, well, a guy told me one time, he said, he said, never argue with a fool because they draw you into their world and beat you with experience. So, those are stuff that I would just kind of say to those guys. But, one thing that I've always remembered, and I don't remember where I read this at, but, I heard something one time. Somebody once told me to argue with a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medication to the dead. And I'll be in the door, I tell them stuff like that. So it's like, if I'm sitting here trying to talk reason and logic to you and you ain't even hearing me, right, it's pointless. Because you ain't really trying to hear me, and it's just, again, that's just something that's pointless. So anyway, man, I'm just sitting out here soaking up this sun, like I said, out here in the peace and the calm, because there's nothing like peace. And a lot of times when you sit in peace, that's when sometimes you can hear, that sometimes you can get clarity. So I'm just sitting out in the back, soaking it all up and soaking up nature. But anyway, this your boy CS Motivated Minds. I just want y'all to think about it.